I want to talk today about a very common profit leak in your business, and it might be in your blind spot. Hey, it's Melanie Benson, and I was remembering the other day about this phenomenon, if you will, and an aha I personally had about 12 years ago. And I've never forgotten this because it was so poignant to me. I was talking with a friend of mine about what we were doing. We were in a little mastermind and we were talking about the things that we do that help build profit instead of erode profit and what I call profit leak. And the conversation came up about retention versus acquisition. Retention is putting our attention on retaining the clients we have, where acquisition is about going out and acquiring new clients. And he dropped this little nugget, and my chin hit the ground, and I just was like, "Oh my God, I'd never heard this before," but it made a lot of sense. And he said, Melanie, the cost of acquiring a new client is 5 times greater than the cost of developing a strong relationship with your current clients and they continue to buy from you. So it's the difference between repeat business and retaining the clients you have versus acquiring new clients. Now, if you think about all of the costs that go in to acquiring a new client, like most of us have a marketing budget. We've got to go out. We've got to, we're spending money on ads, or we're paying a podcast booker, or we're paying our team to go out and get us visible. We're getting on the road. We're speaking, all the things, right? And let me check in with you. Like, how exciting is marketing for you? I was talking with someone earlier this morning and she said, quite frankly, Melanie, like marketing is like a big black hole for me. I do it because I have to, but I don't love it. So there's not only the financial cost of investing in acquiring a new client, but oftentimes for many of us, there's the emotional and physical cost of doing things that maybe aren't our favorite thing to do to acquire new clients. The bottom line is retaining your clients, turning them into excited fans and, making them happy so they want to continue to buy from you is 5 to 25 times less expensive than what it costs to go acquire new clients. And I think there's a lot of marketers who their superpower is in the marketing and they get this a little upside down. And so if this is like tweaking you a little bit today and you're thinking, yeah, okay, I'm a marketer. I love marketing and I actually do focus more on acquiring new clients. Just know this is a kind of a common thing for marketers to get upside down. And that's because the energy, like the source of your fuel is in the acquisition of new clients. But it's a profit leak for most people because you turn your attention away from the things that actually make clients want to keep buying from you towards, okay, like I got to go be a constant source of new clients because you don't have a way to keep your clients happy and have them continue to work with you. I had a very personal experience about this recently, and it brought this point home for me. I had invested in a program, and I was actually really, really intrigued by this person who is doing some really cool stuff, and they have a lot going on. But I started to see the signs pretty quick. Yes, they're doing the bare minimum to make the client happy once they get them in their lair, so to speak. And all of their attention, all of their focus, all of their energy and momentum is in the acquisition. And there were several things I was like, didn't really fulfill on that promise. Okay, that didn't feel good as a client. I definitely didn't feel like they understand what the client really needs to be a happy raving fan here. So this was a huge light bulb moment for me. And you might even say kind of a recommitment to get back into how do you keep the clients happy? So here is something that I found really, really interesting. There could have been one or two things they did slightly differently. And not only would I ended up being a raving fan, but I would have promoted their program for them. So here's the question. Here's the opportunity. Where are you focused on the acquisition at the expense of the retention. And maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, Melanie, I would love to have some more clients to retain, and that's okay. That's a different conversation. That's the things we're going to be focusing on with turning other people's audiences into your greatest lead source. We will get to that. But today I want to talk about this because if you're working my 7-step plan, the framework that I teach on the 7 steps to add another 6 figures to your business, client journey is a big piece of it. So what I wanted to do is share 4 areas that if you turn your attention to them, actually 5 areas, if you turn your attention to them, you will find that your profits go up, your retention goes up, and you will spend a lot less money in the acquisition, and you'll have more money to save, to reinvest, and to keep your clients happy. So first of all, let's just talk about a happy client. And the most important thing that we do is understand how our clients consume, our ideal client consumes. And so there's two factors in one here. One is just knowing there are little things we can do to make people have the best experience, making sure we're communicating, making sure we make whatever the deliverable is easy for the client to experience a good result with. And that is just simple product or program delivery. And when you really understand the way your best clients consume and what do they need, and you focus on that, and you focus on what would it take to make the client happy so that they not only will buy from me, but they will refer me, that becomes a huge win. Okay. So that's the basic principle. But kind of like a sister principle to that is something that I think a lot of people forget. And that is, do you have a clear client journey so that someone knows when they work with you or they take that first step with you and they go to that first program, what happens next? How do they continue to work with you after this first foray they take into a program with you? For some people, this is a digital offering, or maybe it's like a 1 day or a 2-hour deep dive session, whatever that first step is. Maybe it's a problem solving step. Do you have a clear client journey so they know how to work with you next? If you do not know this, and this starts the minute that somebody takes you up on a freebie or a lead magnet, or they buy your book, or whatever that first step is, the more time and attention you invest in getting that clear and compelling, the easier it is for somebody to continue to work with you. So an example of this might be someone took, let's say someone bought my Authority Brand Podcast Toolkit, which is a very inexpensive online toolkit. And then they said, oh, well, one of the best ways for me to grow the traction of my podcast is to guest on other people's podcasts. So now I want to take Melanie's guest expert system. And that's an 8-week course. And they go through that 8-week course and they're like, well, gosh, now I realize there's other things in my business that I need to fine tune. So I need to get my signature talk down, and I need my client journey sorted out. And I don't really know how to enroll clients. I need to really figure out my 0 friction selling process. So they start to see there are some other things that they could sharpen the saw and fix. So then they would know Amplify Your Authority Inner Circle would be that next step. Or if they want to take a bigger, more accelerated path, they might do a VIP package with me. So my client journey is very well laid out. They know when they start, this is typically the path, and they can even find it on my coaching page. So do you have your client journey laid out? Do people know how they're going to continue to work with you? Another example, I had a client a few years back, and she had these different courses she was teaching. And she said, Melanie, I'm spending so much time and money marketing the next course, marketing the next course, marketing the next course. And I said, well, Lisa, let's rejig or recalibrate how people move through your entire program. Like, do they know what the ascension is of one course to the next course to the next course? And it was like an aha moment for her because she'd never looked at doing it that way. And so we basically restructured her flow so that they could either buy what's commonly referred to as the whole enchilada, or they could drip through the workshops one at a time, but they knew what the flow of workshops was going in. And so this can look different for different business models. Like if I'm working with an accountant client, this might look different than if I'm working with a coach or a consultant or an author or a trainer, right? Whatever your business model is, but you need to have that journey clear. And what clarity does is clarity gives them I'm shooting for this next. This is where I'm striving to be next. Now, a third thing that I think a lot of times people don't necessarily think about, and this is a huge profit booster, and it may or may not work for your business, but is the idea of setting up programs where you don't have to keep re-enrolling people and you just establish reoccurring revenue. So it could be a membership program, could be a coaching program where they sign up once, but they're investing every month regularly to keep access to that program. I mean, SaaS software is a example of this. It's reoccurring revenue, a little bit different commitment usually, but this is the idea. And yes, they may say yes to other things along the way, but the idea is you sell somebody once on you and they keep working with you. See, part of the reason why acquisition is more expensive is, first of all, you have to find the client. Secondly, you have to educate them and win them over, particularly if they're evaluating multiple solutions or vendors. And then third, you're oftentimes investing in ad spend, team members and or other types of technology to get your message in front of these ideal clients. So there are steps involved. There are some industries where this client acquisition process can take years. Not to mention the fact that you're building the know, like, and trust factor with them. But once that's established and somebody chooses you, the investment to keep them happy and make them want to continue to work with you or inspire them to continue to work with you is much different than having to start all over again. So you can start to see how the ad spend and how the marketing dollars work, right? Now, that's the first three things. So now let's talk about something that a lot of people don't realize is, let's say you have some dormant client relationships. You've worked with them in the past, but you haven't worked with them in a while. And you've got a new offer that they don't maybe even know you have. Sometimes going back to them and saying, hey, it's been a while. I've introduced a new offer. And it's something I know we've talked about when we're working together, or from what I've seen you putting out lately, it seems like this might be something that could be of interest. Reigniting that relationship is a way of getting those clients you already have the know, like, and trust factor with to revisit and reinvest. Okay, so invite them back to something new, or maybe they weren't ready to keep working with you at the time. Have a way to touch back and say, hey, just want to check in. I'm opening up the door to my blah, blah, blah program. I know you weren't ready for it last time. Just want to make sure you had first dibs on it this time. Reigniting those relationships is a million times easier than going out and getting new people, right? So that's the fourth one. And then the fifth one, again, often overlooked, is with people who maybe have taken one step with you, but nothing else, or they're leads that have not taken that first step. Don't assume everybody wants to consume the same thing the same way. This is where having a couple of different options from your core way of doing things is very valuable. An example of this is, let's say you're well known for having a group coaching program, but you've got a whole bunch of people on your list that never say yes. Okay, well, maybe the group process isn't for them. And they've been waiting for you to say, I have some options to work one-on-one, or I'm opening up a limited time VIP day types thing. And there's a way for them to consume the way they want to accelerate or to get more personalized attention. And they're willing to spend more to get that access. Another example could be, maybe they're never going to buy the things you offer, but they're leads. They're there. They like you. And so this might be where partnerships and what's often referred to as joint ventures, affiliates could come in handy where you've taken them as far as you can go, but that doesn't mean the trust is over, the rapport is over. There might be opportunities to continue to build profit and to continue to serve those clients by offering them something else, someone else that you trust that solves a problem you don't solve. So just because they've never bought from you doesn't mean they won't. And I'm going to get into this later in a couple weeks. I'll share this, but I've been studying how leads operate these days, and I found 5 different buying styles. And just know that sometimes those leads will come on your list, and it doesn't mean they're not going to buy from you, but they're not buying yet. And how you nurture and cultivate those relationships will mean whether you get that business later or someone else does. So we've covered 5 profit boosting ideas here. Now, I give you 5 because everybody's business is different. And sometimes you've tried some things and you need to try something else. Don't try and do all of them at once. But I'd love to hear, is one of these a strategy you could use now to boost up some cash flow, to get some profits building back into your business, and to bring the cost down on the most expensive thing? Doesn't mean we don't want to keep attracting new clients. But what I don't want for you is that you're attracting new clients, you're in the acquisition at the expense of retention. So if you're not retaining, there's something that you need to address in your business model. Okay, there's something you need to fix. Now, if you have been working through this 7-step framework to add another 6 or 7 figures to your business this year, then you know that client journey is huge. Getting the client journey nailed down is going to be a huge profit producer for you. And if you don't have the framework that I'm talking about, just put plan in the comments and I will send that off to you. But if you've been working this and you don't have a client journey, I have to tell you, this is probably where you will see the greatest reinvestment. If you're in Amplify Your Authority Inner Circle or you're working with a coach of some kind, this is where the profit boosting potential comes in. You need your client journey. You need to know how to guide the right clients to be able to work with you and to continue to go deeper and deeper versus jumping out of what you offer and finding someone else to solve the problem they're searching for a solution to. Okay, now, if you want to chat about this, I have opened up very limited Amplify audits, and I'm happy to see if that's a good fit for you right now. This is my $800 review. Like I usually charge $800 to do a review of someone's business. I've opened up a few of these complimentary to my community. If you think this would be valuable and you're ready to add another 6 to 7 figures and you think, ooh, could be my client journey is a mess or something else in the 7 steps, let me know that you'd like an audit and we'll reach out and get you the details and we can see if that's a good fit for you right now. Okay. Tell me what you're going to work on. Keep sharing what your steps are and what you're working through. And I can't wait to see how you make this a win. Bye for now.